Example, determine if the sequence is arithmetic. And as you can see, I have two sequences given, and my first sequence is over here and my second sequence is over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider my first sequence first, and I'm going to do a partitioning over here so that I can differentiate these two sequences. So I'm going to rewrite my first sequence. So I will write 37, 34, 31, 28, and then it keeps going. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider first two terms first. So if I consider the first two terms, I'm going to find the difference between these two terms. So I will write second term minus first term. So I will write 34 minus 37. And as we know, 34 minus 37 is negative 3. Now let's find the difference between these two terms. So the difference between these two terms is basically 31 minus 34. And 31 minus 34 is again negative 3. Now let's consider the next two terms. So my next two terms is basically 31 and 28. And I will write 28 minus 31. And as we know, 28 minus 31 is negative 3. So as you can see, my difference between any two consecutive number is negative 3. So basically, I can definitely say that these differences are basically a common difference, which is basically D. So I can definitely write my D is negative 3, and which is my common difference. So as we know, if the difference is common between any two consecutive terms, then that sequence is basically an arithmetic sequence. So I can definitely say that this is an AP sequence. So as you can see, my next sequence is 9, 14, 19, and 24. And it keeps going. Now let's find the difference between first two terms. And my first two term is basically 9 and 14. And I need to find the difference between 9 and 14. So I will write 14 minus 9. And 14 minus 9 is basically 5. In the same way, let's find the difference between 14 and 19. And I will write 19 minus 14. And 19 minus 14 is again 5. Now it's time for us to find the difference between 24 and 19. So I'm finding the difference between these two numbers because they come one after another. So I will write 24 minus 19, and 24 minus 19 is again 5. So as you can see, the difference between any two consecutive terms is basically D. And this pattern will keep going no matter how many numbers we consider. So basically I can say that this difference 5 is basically a common difference. So I can write D is equal to 5, which is my common difference. So I can definitely say that my answer is this sequence is an AP sequence. And this is how we will prove that if the given sequence is an arithmetic sequence or not.